Hello everyone, we have a lot to talk about from Planet Coaster 2's second deep dive. And let me tell you that we got so many amazing things that as a Planet Zoo player, I am kind of jealous because there are so many new features that I would love to have in Planet Zoo, and I do hope that they will be included in Planet Zoo 2. But at this moment, I'm also super excited about Planet Coaster 2 and start playing it, so let's have a deep dive. We're gonna go over the details and we're gonna check out the video really slowly so we can catch all the details that we have in every scene. So if you're ready for a deep dive of the deep dive, let's begin. First of all, here we have Rich Newbold and Adam Woods. I think it's very important to highlight their names because these men are leading the effort of the game and they're doing an amazing job so far. I do think that everything that they've added to the game is just amazing. So here we have the beautiful intro, Planet Coaster 2. I can't wait to play it. And over here, let's pause this scene and let's just dive into the details. This was recorded after the deep dive because we will be building this in the deep dive. You can see the staircases. Let's check out the details of the staircases. They're just amazing. Just look at the detail that they got into in the models, that they even have like these little reinforcements or like the details on the metal and the relief. It's just amazing how detailed they went with these models. I also love this animation in the flume. Look at this. It's so nice. And here we have the little Beastie. This is another really cute thing that I loved about the deep dive, how this little animatronic is just so cute. They managed to create something cute out of something that would seem like a monster, so kudos to everyone who worked on this model. We will see it in more detail in the deep dive. And I really like how they added these intros in the deep dive. I wouldn't definitely want to dive like this on my belly, but well, poor man. Deep dive, boundless creativity, and I do think that they are staying true to their slogan of boundless creativity, because what we've seen so far is totally taking the bounds out of what we had previously in other Planet games, because it's just so more powerful. This is like the first view that we have of the game, and this was like so exciting. I still remember when I watched this live and I couldn't wait to share all of these details with you. We have like the gate, the entry gate. We see Planet Coaster. Maybe this is a custom entry. Maybe, who knows? We don't know the details yet, but it's looking awesome so far. I really love these boards, like these ads with King Coaster over here. And one thing that I'm not sure if you noticed is that we have bridges over here. I think this is the first time we actually see bridges or elevated paths in an official walkthrough, in a deep dive. You can see that they are much thinner over here, and their supports, really, I don't know if this were generated automatically or if they were added like in a custom process, if they were added piece by piece, but they look amazing. I also like how they can have like the different textures between the staircases and the path. Remember that I am a Planet Coaster 2, like I am a new player of Planet Coaster 2. So if something of what I'm mentioning was already part of Planet Coaster 1, well, I'm not familiar with that because I'm new to Planet Coaster 2. Everything is so new to me. I'm gonna be sharing all of this from a new player's perspective. So now, if we go through here, we can see like some shadows, but I'm not sure what they are. They look like, yeah, I'm not sure how to describe them, but they don't seem like they're there because of something like random. Maybe they added some effects over here. Not sure, but we will need to confirm that in the next deep dive. In the horizon, we can see a lot of foliage, and I really like what they've done outside of the boundaries of the park. We also see different terrain textures. I love how the sand is looking and how it's blending with the grass texture over here. And I love the null paths over here with the terrain. They're just amazing. We already have these null paths in Planet Zoo, and it's great to see them in Planet Coaster, but the textures are looking awesome. And over here we can also see something that everyone is really looking forward to in Planet Zoo 2, which are birds. And Planet Coaster 2 has these little birds flying around in the park. It's just awesome. I love the little details. It's great that they added them. We can see the crowds of people walking in and walking out of the park. And here we can see, if I move forward a little bit, let me move forward, we start to see the path tool. The path tool was just beyond my expectations as a Planet Zoo player. The path tool was like, it worked. You could do everything you wanted with it, but I think what they did it was taking it to a whole different level. The new one is just amazing, and I can't wait to have it in Planet Zoo as well. We're gonna dive into this tool, into these options. I'm gonna have a dedicated video for these tools because there is a lot to cover, but in the deep dive, we saw a little bit of this as a preview. You can see that the tool is snapping to the existing paths, and we have an option for snapping to the existing paths. We have different tools like the classic path, the line path, the draw tool, which we can use to actually draw any shape we want, the stamp builder with some geometric shapes. You can see that we have a square, we have like a pentagon. There are different shapes over here, and they are really nice to just have that nice looking geometric shape. We also have the rounding tool, which used to be a bug in Planet Zoo, and then it was a feature, and now they made it an official feature, which is great for rounding off the corners. We can also customize the brush. This was really interesting. You can paint over an existing path to update its texture and color. So we can paint over the path. That's really nice. I'm not sure. I can see this being as a way to create like patterns or different drawings in the paths or different like, I can't wait to see what you all create with the amazing creativity that the community has. So I'm looking forward to seeing the brush too. And finally, the last tool is, let's see, what is the last tool? The edit tool. Apparently, based on what they've said, we will be able to drag the different nodes of the path to align it anywhere we want to, or to create any shape we want to after we lay the path. So it's just amazing, beyond my expectations. And two little things here that I haven't noticed, and two little things here that I didn't notice at first during the live stream, were that we have three different modes for the path. We have like this generic path, we have this path that seems to be for guests only, but I'm not sure, I'm just speculating here, but based on the drawing on the figure, it seems to be like a guest only path. And here we see something that looks like a staff only path. It makes sense because in Planet Zoo we have staff paths where only staff members can walk on. But over here we can also see one especially for guests, so maybe it's just to keep the guests and the staff separated at some points in the park if we need to, and that would be awesome to have. They didn't really go into the details of this tool, but I think they will in the future, so that's something to look forward to. We also saw the edit tool, but they didn't really use it in the deep dive. And now if we move forward a little bit, we can see the tool in action. Yes, we can see the curves. Over here it's like a curved path. We also can make a straight line. If we change the tool, we can change the line style from straight to curved, the line width, the angle snap. We also have the famous angle snap from Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo, length snap if we want to. And we can also change how the camera will follow the path, which is helpful to stay focused on the path that we're building. So here we can see this a little bit. Yep, we have the curves. We have the same width, and then we lay the path like this. We can also see the curves, and you can see how it is snapping over here, even in the curve. And we are going to use over here the stamp builder. The stamp builder is just awesome. I love how it can be merged with the path or immediately like connected to the path, and it can also be on top of the path. So really, the boundless creativity slogan is coming to life with all the tools that they've been showing. And over here we also see the second tool in the pathing tools, which is basically the style or the texture of the path. We see different textures. Over here we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we have 10 over here, and we have 2 different categories, so basically 20, I would say, at most 20 textures, which is really nice. And the best thing is that we can customize the textures with FlexiColor. Some textures will have a way for us to customize different, like this, different color channels for different areas, so we can create themed paths as well that go very well with the FlexiColor items that we use in the rides. So really, yeah, the boundless creativity again coming to life. Oh, here, yeah. So it's not really 20, we had 10 in the previous tab, and now in the second tab we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 18 different paths, or at least path textures, including the null paths over here and the path with the terrain. That is really nice. I really love that, love the idea. And another great thing that we can see over here is that we can copy an existing texture. So if we create the path that we like, and we have many different like colors, and it's the perfect path for our park, we can just copy the existing texture to a different path, and we can continue building with that. That will save us a lot of time. Definitely, I'm really looking forward to it. And this game is just making me smile. It's amazing. I love it already, and I never thought that I would be so excited for a coaster game, but yep, look at me, I'm here. And I love Planet Zoo. It will be my favorite game of all times, but I really love to welcome Planet Coaster 2 to my heart. And we also see here, before we go to Adam, and before we go there, yep, we had a little bit of a sneak peek into the delete tool over here. Yep, you can see this, the stamp delete tool. This is a great tool where we can just lay the path and then delete the path based on a specific shape. So we can adjust the stamp scale, the working height, and we can choose different shapes. And here we have the classic circle. So we would just click wherever we want to remove the path, and you would see something like this. That would be like amazing for creating plazas. I would love to have that in Planet Zoo. Really, everything that they've been showing to us, showing about the path, is just brilliant. I really have no other words to say that. I think that's the perfect description. Brilliant. They nailed it every single step of the way while designing and implementing the system, and I can't wait to use it. Over here, we can see the draw tool. This was, let me just go back a little bit so we can see it in slow motion. I'm gonna play it in really slow motion. I recorded this in a way that we can see this like in really slow motion. So we are placing a node over here, then we're placing another node, and since it's like curved, we have the line style over here set to curve. The shape is going to be curved, and then we can continue drawing any shape that we want, really. And we can also change like different properties in the panel, and when we finish the shape, yep, it's just filled with path automatically. That is amazing, amazing, amazing. And we can connect it to existing path or draw on top of existing path. And just know that here it's me pressing the right key on the keyboard, because that's why you're seeing this in slow motion. I just wanted you to have this experience in slow motion, because in the deep dive it was a little bit fast, so I do think it deserves to have this slow motion highlight in my deep dive, up the deep dive. Then if we want to connect it to the existing path, you can see how this is connected, but we don't necessarily have to take it to the edge. We can go even deeper than that if we want to have a pattern mixed within the existing path. We can create all sorts of decorations with the path. I can see the creativity that will come from that. Look at this. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it. Amazing. You can create all types of drawings or creativity or shapes with the path. So this will really unleash the possibilities. Great, so after that, we are going to the pools. Yep, well, you saw a teaser there because I went a little bit too far, but well, let's start showing a little bit of the pools. After they talked about the path tool, they went straight to the pools, and I love to see this preview. Remember that I'm not comparing anything to Planet Coaster 1. For me, everything is new, and I'm presenting this from a new Planet Coaster 2 or Planet Coaster in general player. So I am just sharing my thoughts without any comparisons of what we've had in Planet Coaster 1. I might compare it to Planet 2 because I played it, but not to Planet Coaster 1. So here we have the stamp builder, which works basically based on what they showed, exactly the same as the path builder. You have a shape, you can have like a square, an hexagon, an octagon, a pentagon, and you can use that stamp to create the shape of the pool piece, and then you can connect them to expand your pool. You also have the line tool, the draw tool, the smooth edges tool, the paint brush, and the edit tool, so you can drag the different nodes and change the shape of your pool. That is really nice. It works basically like the path. It's very similar, and it's brilliant to reuse that functionality, because once it was working with the path, the pools, the logic was basically the same. So it was a great decision, a really time-saving decision. And over here, after they cover the stamp builder, if you want to have more control over the shape of your pool, you can use the draw tool, and they showed us a little bit of the draw tool with the curves over here, and they created that classic pool shape. And well, yep, this really showed how versatile it can be, especially if we can edit the nodes afterwards. You can see how the cursor is highlighting specific nodes, and I do think that is for the edit tool, that we can drag those nodes to expand or change the shape of the pool. And I also have to mention that I love the way this reflection is looking on the pool. You can see the reflection of the trees at the end over here. You can see the reflection of these trees and bushes. I do love how the water is looking. And over here we can also see like the nodes on the path. This is also very important in case we want to extend the path to edit it. This is what I was talking about. Look at the texture. I think the water texture over here, like the water effect, looks brilliant for a pool. I do think it is amazing. I also love the effect underwater. Look at this, just look at this. They only showed it for a few seconds, but you can really see like the reflections over here in the base of the pool, in the floor, on the floor over here, and you can also see the little birds just flying around. That is an awesome detail, and maybe a teaser that birds will be coming to Planet Zoo too, who knows. Great, so now that we have our pool, let me show you something great. Well, we also saw some blueprints. I will be sharing a video on the blueprints, or at least that's my plan, sharing a video on the blueprints that we have seen so far. Basically, we have different shells. I'm gonna move this over here so it doesn't cover the blueprints. This is like a shell. The aquatic shop too, we have shells, so we will also have modular shops like we have in Planet Zoo. They actually placed one of them over here. Oh, yep, aquatic shop, small shell. Let me just play this. Yep, so they chose one of these shells and they placed it, and we can see the move tools over here. And when they selected build new, let me go backwards because this was a little bit fast. Yes, yep, they are clicking here on build new, so we are going to click on build new to see all the individual pieces. And I also think that is brilliant because for casual players, they will usually use blueprints. If you only play the game a few times a week, or a few times a month, or a few times a year, you don't want to spend hours and hours just building everything piece by piece. You just want to lay out the blueprints, and I know a lot of people who love doing that. I personally also love building piece by piece. So if you love building piece by piece, you will need to click on build new, and there you will be taken to the menu where you can build piece by piece, like this. Here you can see all the different piece by piece items that we can use in this category of facilities. And we have many different interesting, very, very interesting pieces over here that I will be diving into more detail because in another video, because otherwise this deep dive will just take so long. I wish we could cover all of this, but just to highlight, we have these like counters that we also have in Planet Zoo. So this gives us a lot of flexibility. We also have like different changing rooms, drying stations. We have vending machines, and I love how they have these little icons so we can see them more easily. And I also love this design that it's a little bit different from Planet Zoo. In Planet Zoo, we see like a little icon at the top where we see if an item is a grid piece or a non-grid piece. But here in the background, it's just so much more easy to, it's so much easier to identify if a piece is a grid piece or not. So I absolutely love this approach, and I would love to see it in Planet Zoo 2 as well. Yes, I know, Planet Zoo is still close to my heart, so I just visualize how everything, all of these changes could be applied to Planet Zoo, so yep, that's something that I will mention in my videos. Please let me know in the comments, are you a Planet Zoo player too, and would you love to see all of this in Planet Zoo as well? Here they are filtering the pieces by guest, so going back because we took a detour to Planet Zoo, if we filter by guest, we see this, and they also have like guest services shop, and they're placing the shop within the shell. And there you go, the shop is opened. And then we go to the scenery tab again, where we have like the empty shells, and they are placing the gas facilities small shell. This will be a changing room, I think. Yes, this will be a changing room. Over here they go to facilities, they go to this one over here, which is like the changing rooms. I also love that they added the changing rooms detail. I mean, it looks simple once you have it in the game, but just the concept and the design idea of including all of this logistics in the game is amazing and realistic. It really adds to the management layer of the game, and it's something that I really love. I also love the management aspect of these games, in addition to the creativity. I do like to manage the zoos and manage the parks, and once I have them created. So it's just, it looks really nice. And then, of course, over here, while I was talking, the video just went so fast, they are starting to dive into the Flumes. So they're going to create the Flumes in the Flumes menu over here. First, they have the blueprints and different categories, and a really, really nice thing over here that I can see that I hadn't noticed until right now. Thank you, you made me, because I recorded this video for you. I noticed this over here, that we have something like a flume for adults and a flume for adults and children. I didn't see this because basically here you can see an adult and you can see an adult with a child. So I would love to see this in action in one of the deep dives. That's what I'm speculating here, because this is what the icon makes me think of. What do you think this is for? I would love to see children being more like involved here in the game and in the rides. And once we create a new flume, they clicked on new, right? So let's go backwards. Let's go backwards. Yep. Nope, it was too backwards. I went too far. Okay, just let's go back a little bit. Go back a little bit. Go back a little bit. Where are you? Yep, this is where they clicked on the Flumes. Okay, I'm gonna play this. And yep, they clicked on build new over here, build new. Once you click on build new, you will be able to select a flume model, like body flume, body slide, and body slide wide, like this. You have different filters. You can also filter by name, I think, based on this. You will see the station cost, the specifications, the maximum angles for different things like drop, banking, incline. Also new to flumes and roller coasters in general, like the vocabulary. I've been learning a lot through the Planet Coaster videos and everything that the amazing content creators like the lead designer Rudy Rancamo have been sharing with us. So it has been a really nice learning experience as well. Now, and this one over here, this thing over here actually confirms what I just said. Let me show you. This is for all ages. So this is confirming that we will have like age restrictions in the rides and in the coasters. So it's just amazing. Maybe we will have rides specifically for kids, for children. Maybe we'll have rides specifically for adults. Of course, you can't put a child through a drop track, I think, or a 90-degree fall. It would be just like insane. But I'm really happy that they've also divided the rides and the coasters by age. And over here, what do we have? We have the platform. This is a shared flume platform, a small platform where we can start our flume. We just need to place it, and they place it really close to the pool, but we can also place it anywhere we want to make the flume longer or more complex, more wild. And yep, they are placing it, and the support is being generated automatically. We also see different starts to the flume. Like here we have different options. This is like the vertical fall. These are different, more subtle options. Over here we haven't seen these two, I think, yet in the deep dives. I'm looking forward to seeing these. We saw the vertical fall in one of the deep dives of the Gamescom, and yeah. Yes, this is the one that they used. So the second to last is the one that they used right now. It has like a bar over here, a metal bar. And here you can see how they are building the flumes. And before we move forward, I would like to emphasize this, to highlight this, these swimming animations that we can see in the bottom, over here in the bottom right. I'm gonna play this really slowly so you can see the swimming animations over here, because people are starting to get into the pool, and I don't know, I just think they look amazing. Take a moment to look at them over here in slow motion. They are just amazing. I do like what the Frontier team has done for all of this, as well as the art style of the game. I am planning to create another video on why I absolutely love the art style of this game, especially the guests. I am a huge fan of the guests in this game. I know that some people prefer more realistic guests, but I am a firm defender of cartoonish characters, and I will share my reasons for that in another video. But I also wanted to mention this because I would love to see these guests in all the Planet games from now and onwards, like the Jurassic World Evolution 3 games. I am personally not a fan of the guests in Jurassic World Evolution 2. I think they look like too... I'm not sure what the right word would be, but maybe too robotic or too generic. I don't know. I just love the brand that comes with the guests in Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo as well. And I just think they are perfect for the game. Well, now going back to the flumes, because I took a detour there. We are creating a flume. We see different pieces, we can adjust the length of the pieces, and we have 3 different options. We can either extend the flume, we can move the flume up or down, and we can also change the angle of the flume. You can see how they are like changing where the angle of the flume, top and down, to the right and to the left, and yep, basically building the flume. They show us different pieces as well. Here we have an open flume, we have an enclosed flume that we cannot see on the inside. We also have this one. This one has like a side a bit larger than the other one. Let me show you this. I'm going backwards. Yeah, we have the left side. If I'm looking at the screen right now, so for me that would be the left side. We also have the right side, which is a little bit taller. And we have this one over here, which is transparent, so you can see the person going down the flume from the front downwards. And this one is enclosed, this is closed, but it's still transparent. So I look forward to seeing all the flumes. And based on what I can see over here in the icons, we will have like faster variations of flumes. Maybe they will cause more nausea, or they will be like more extreme, so they will not be appropriate for all ages. I'm just speculating here, but this is what the fast forward icons here are telling me. And over here, I'm not really sure what these icons could be. We can see like an intersection. This is like, you know, in set theory, there is something called a Venn diagram. And I do think that these resemble Venn diagrams a lot. We have a set, another set, and the intersection between them. So I'm not sure what they will do, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they will do. Here, so we are creating the flume. We are just adding the flume. This is the button. If we click on the track, on the flume piece, we're going to add the flume like this, and you can see how the supports are generated automatically. Well, this is just amazing. I love how the supports are calculated automatically. And you can also toggle track supports off. This was in this option over here, track supports. Currently they're on, and I do like to keep them on because I think that's more realistic from a physics and engineering perspective. But, well, if you want to turn them off and just create the supports yourself, you can also do that. That is the great part about the game, boundless creativity. Over here, well, you can see how we are adding the flumes, and we also add the end piece over here. We have a menu for end pieces. We have different end pieces. They showed us this one, but these two are also end pieces. I don't think we have seen these ones yet. And you can see the end of the flume over here, and this lady is just standing there where the water is falling. Please be careful, we don't have a lifeguard yet, thank you. I think we will see lifeguards in the next deep dive when we talk a little bit more about management, and that is a deep dive that I'm really looking forward to because management is a central feature of this game. It's just, I think it's a core element of the game because if you want to keep players engaged for a really long time, management, in addition to creativity, is also important. Here we add the staircases. They also mentioned that if you don't want to add the staircases because you already have a way to bring your guests in, you can also add the entry directly. So it's not necessary to add the staircases all the time. You can also connect the entry here to the path, and based on what we saw for the path tool, I think you will be able to customize this path too. Over here then we see the details for the ride, for the body flume. If you click on it, you need to test the ride first. This is something interesting that I didn't know. I saw that in one of the deep dives, that you have to test rides. Please remember that I haven't really played Planet Coaster. I think I only played the game like once for half an hour, and yeah, so I wasn't really like familiar with all the details. You have to test the rides before you open them, and that's really, really nice. You also have important statistics about the ride, like prestige, reputation. Well, it's new, so it doesn't have any reputation yet. You also have scenery rating, how much you're decorating the scenery around the ride, and I do think that's amazing because that gives you like a reason, an additional reason to be creative and to decorate. You also see the queue time, which shouldn't be very long if you don't want people to start leaving the park, because of course they will have pain in their legs, they will need to sit down. You may have people that don't want to stand all day long under the sun. Now that sunscreen will be an issue too. And you can check the income, which is super important to keep your park profitable. And you can see how many guests enter the ride yesterday. And I also love that they changed like the time frame or the time scale in the game. Now we do see the time elapsing day by day, and we have a weather forecast for different hours of the day, so it's not like we're jumping month to month. We are having an actual day sequence, and that's more realistic. I do believe that. The staff zone also tells us that we will have like staff work zones. Yeah, that I couldn't find the word. Yeah, the work zones. In Planet Zoo, we have something called work zones where we assign specific staff members to specific, in Planet Zoo, that would be different habitats or exhibits or different facilities. But now in Planet Coaster 2, I can see something very similar here because this is not part of a staff zone. Maybe in the next deep dive, we will have a preview of what that will be like. One thing that I would love to see is how we are going to handle this over here, because I saw that there is like a free fall between the platform at the top and the staircases over here. Someone might accidentally slip over here, so maybe we will need to add some scenery items here, or that will be handled by the final version of the game. We will need to see. Great, so after we have that, yeah, they also showed us how we can change the color, because the flumes will also be recolorable. We can customize the different channels, and if we want to make the flumes all the same color, we can just click on the same color for all the different areas of the flume. The possibilities are just endless here, and I just love how they've implemented this. Now we can see the pool already filling in with people, and we can see people in the staircases as well. You can see that we do have quite a long queue, so yeah, that's something that we will need to handle too. I love how they incorporated the staircases. We can see someone just going down the flume as well. And we can see everyone swimming. I love the swimming animations and how there are different variants of the animations. That's something that we can go into more detail here with the air view. I'm gonna show you this in slow motion, like this. That brings me a lot of Finding Nemo memories from the Dory. I don't know if you watch Finding Nemo, but if you have, please let me know in the comments if this brings you a lot of memories. Here, over here, you can see people like swimming, you know, you can tell that they can swim. You can also see people that are more like uncomfortable swimming and they just stay there. That is totally normal. I, for once, am not a swimmer, so I usually don't go too far from the edge of the pool like this lady over here. And you can also see people that are like jumping into the pool, some people that are like, the different animations are amazing. I absolutely love them. Please take a moment to, yeah, just notice all of these small animations, because I work on a creative industry and I know how intensive every little detail can be when you're working with something creative like animation, like design, like, yeah, kudos and congratulations to everyone who worked on these animations. Another thing that I wanted to mention before we move on is that I love how people are in groups in the pool. In one of the deep dives, I saw like someone splashing at another person, and it's great that they kept that group sense, that group feeling in the pool, because people will move with their relatives, friends, or family members or children. So they have to stay together while they go through the park. And that's just amazing to see. You can also see a person diving here. They're just jumping into the pool. Yep, you can see that there are different like animations. If we focus here, I didn't see this. This is the first time I'm seeing this. There are a lot of details to see. This person is doing like a cannonball. I think this is what it's called. This one over here. And then we have another one that is just jumping into the pool like in a more subtle way. So we have different reactions of people towards the pools and different animations to see, and I can't wait to see that from a first-person point of view. It will be amazing. Then here we see how they expand the pool, and that was great as well, because we are not limited to having a fixed pool. Once we create that, we can expand it if we need to and evolve as the park grows. We can expand it any way we want to with the pool tools. They use the stamp builder, and they showed us what infinity pools look like in the game. They don't really have any like paths to walk around the pool, and I do think that's great, because we can add scenery over here and decorations, and people won't be able to step out of the pool and walk around it. So that was great. Over here from this angle, we can take a look at these swimming animations in more detail, like this. You can see them. Yeah, again, Finding Nemo flashbacks. I just love how this is looking. There's so much variety that you don't really see any repeated guests, any repeated animations. They all look like really natural and blended in with the crowd. So that's another key artistic thing that the game really excels at, making the crowds feel authentic, not repetitive, and just brilliantly executed, I would have to say. Awesome. Again, they went back and they created another flume. So we can share the same platform for different flumes. We're not limited to only one flume per platform. That is another great thing, and we can use different starting pieces, and we can expand the platform as well. We can even start the flume from a different platform. That's totally up to us. This is when they started like creating the flume. Yeah, they used the vertical piece over here and they expanded it downwards. You can see how it doesn't have like the hitbox. It's not like colliding with the other flume, and that's amazing because there is so much room for creativity in a very small or narrow place. They won't be colliding with each other, and you can even pass them below the supports. If we go back a little bit, come back. Okay, yes. You can see this support over here, and the flume is going below that support. So that is another great thing to unleash creativity. Those are small details, I know. I'm focusing on the small details here because I think that they are what will make the game an amazing experience. Those details that we don't really see, but they're there, and they are a great quality of life improvement for the game. And well, awesome. Here we can also see some of the special end pieces that we have. This one is called a block hole. I am new to all of this and the terminology, so please forgive me if I don't pronounce any of this correctly. I am learning, and it has been a lot of fun to learn. So here we're using the block hole enclosed. This is the left one, so if this is the left one, we should have a right one, I think, to fit our needs. Yep, so we have the block hole. Then after the block hole, we can also see some aspects of management here, because over here we see a warning that this store doesn't have any power. So we will need to handle power and water, and based on what we know so far, they will be handled similarly to City Skylines. That is another game that I love, City Skylines, where you have like a grid and you connect different pipes and electricity to create a network all over the city, in this case all over the park. And that's a brilliant move by Frontier. It adds another layer to the management aspect of the game, so I really love that. You can see how this deep dive is just full of details. I would also like to highlight this over here. I am moving backwards. Yep. To focus on this animation over here. Take a moment to focus on this animation that we have over here. I'm gonna fast forward, I'm gonna move in slow motion, so you can see this animation, this one over here. Don't focus on the cursor because they're moving it, just focus on the animation over here. The person is actually holding the railing, like the metal bar, and you can see how it's slippery because it's wet. And then the current, the flow, is pushing the person down the flume. I just love these little details and animations that make everything look so realistic. So after we have that, we go through that deep dive. Let's go again, let's move a little bit forward. And now we go to one of the most impressive additions of the game. This game just continues getting better and better and better and better, and I can't have enough of this game in the deep dives. It's just amazing. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about in just a moment. It's just that the excitement is too much for me at this moment. I'm really happy with all of this. They shared some of the blueprints for the aquatic theme, which I also think are amazing. Just look at this. These are little animatronics that look so nice. I loved how they chose the aquatic theme and actually making these aquatic creatures in the animatronics and the corals. That must have been really fun to create. But over here we also see another thing that is super cute, super cute. This is called Fish Beastie. You can see it over here, Fish Beastie. And it is a beastie. It really reminds me of that fish from the really depths, the dark depths of the water, like in Finding Nemo. I'm not sure if you remember that scene where there is a fish that attracts Marlin and Nemo with the light. Over here, I do think it is based on that fish, and it's brilliant how they turn something that could be frightening into something so cute that I'm planning to use definitely in my parks. And over here, this is when they showed something that you'll definitely love. This is, well, there are actually two things that you will love in this part of the deep dive. First, they're adding some special water effects. And to coordinate when they occur, they have a new tool called the Event Sequencer. You will be adding a special object on the floor. You will see it over here. They are searching for that in scenery. This is the special item that they will be adding, that you will be adding on the floor. This is called the Event Sequencer. And if you click on it, you will enter the Edit Trigger Sequence menu, and you can also play the sequence. But to edit it, you will have like a timeline where you can add objects and add tracks. If you add objects like they're going to do right now, you can just drag and drop, drag and select the objects. Then you can confirm your selection or show selected scenery. And you can also have a new selection like this. If you confirm your selection, you're going to confirm the selection, yes. You're going to be taken to something that looks like a timeline. But you will need to align the different special effects and the specific moment of the animatronic, of the animation that you want to have when the other special effects happen. You can see that there are also different step types for the animatronics, so they have like different animations that you can configure. And that's something that you can use in the Event Sequencer. If you want the water to start when the little beastie opens his mouth, well, you can do that by just readjusting this in the timeline, and you can change how long this animation will play for. It would be great if we could drag this to expand this, like as if we were editing a video, but really nice to write this in the Play For menu. We would write this, and you can see how this is expanded, and there we go. The special effect is triggered when, let me show you this, the special effect is triggered if you click on Play Trigger Sequence. You will see that in action. Play Trigger Sequence, you can see that when he opens his mouth, the water is triggered. So that is great to create all kinds of shows and yeah, really nice sequences. You can also change the self-activation, which is really nice if you want the animation to start at a specific moment, if you want it to be continuous, and all kinds of things. This is a really nice feature to have in the game, and I'm definitely planning to use it. And over here comes one of the most amazing features of all the Planet series that I sincerely hope that we will get in Planet Zoo 2 and in Jurassic World Evolution 3. And in basically every Planet game. The scenery brush. Yep, everyone who said that this was a feature was right. We have scenery brushes now, so if you are a casual player or if you don't want to place the scenery or the foliage one by one, piece by piece, you can also use the scenery brush and it will be much quicker. You can choose what type of elements you want to add, like plants, like rocks, and what biome you want them to be in, like taiga, like tropical. Here we have an example with tropical large trees. You can also adjust the size of the brush, the intensity. Intensity, I think that means, well, how many trees we will have or how close they will be to the center of the radius. If you want the trees to align to the surface, so if you want to have the trees like vertical, pointing to the sun, or aligned to the mountain if you have terrain. If you want to avoid paths as well, because I saw someone asking about trees on the paths. Yes, you can avoid paths, or you can also turn this off and put the trees on the paths. So it's basically your choice. You can also ignore scenery, or you have like different ways to handle scenery. We didn't see those options, but here we have it. It's just amazing. It will be a great time saver for people who love to, just have a really nice looking park without investing like so many hours in placing each one of the pieces. And I know many people who love this approach as well. I personally like to have control over the details, and the great thing about this is that you can move trees individually and resize them with the new scaling tool. I'm gonna show you that in just a moment. But before that, I also wanted to mention that here we have a way to create a new brush. So basically, we can create a new brush, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this involves, because maybe we will be able to combine trees of different biomes or different rocks to fit our needs. So that's really amazing. Maybe we will be able to like recolor the rocks and use those recolored rocks inside the brush. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that in the game. Awesome. And over here they showed us what I'm mentioning, that we can also move the trees that they are placing with the brush, so they are individual pieces. That's awesome to know, really awesome to know. We can also rotate them, and we can also scale them, because scaling is a new feature in Planet Coaster that I would definitely love to have in Planet Zoo 2 and in Jurassic World Evolution 3. It's just amazing. Amazing. I absolutely love it, and I can see that the texture still looks really nice when you scale the object. They confirmed that scaling will be available for non-grid pieces. Okay, so non-grid pieces will be scalable. That is amazing. Non-grid pieces, and I think some animatronics may not be scalable, but that makes sense because of the animations and things. But most of the objects will be scalable, and that is just amazing. Then after we saw that, we started diving into the coasters. I am a new coaster creator myself, so I am not really familiar with the different pieces, but I saw a lot of people asking for switch tracks and drop tracks, and they are confirmed. That was really exciting because I really wanted Frontier to include everything that the community has been asking for, because I want this game to be successful. They have done an amazing job so far. So when they mentioned that, I was really happy for everyone, for the community and for Frontier as well. Here we are placing a coaster. You can see here Okay, here to add a coaster, what they did was just go into the coasters menu, and then they clicked on build new over here. Build new, you can see the cursor over here in build new. We also have some blueprints. And over here we can see the different types of coasters. You see all of them over here, but you can see chain lift, launched, alternate lift, suspended, wooden, wing, water, and special. So every coaster will have like a category based on this. I'm not really familiar with these types of coasters, but I will definitely be looking into that in more detail. And we can also see the overview and specifications. You can see that this coaster is for adults and teens only. So maybe we will have some coasters for children as well. That would be great. Some like really light coasters that don't really move. They are just there to give the children a little ride. We also have like more intense coasters. Maybe they will only be for adults. You can have hydraulic, pneumatic, looping. Over here, different features. They said that every type of coaster will have like a special piece. Some coasters will have the switch tracks, some coasters will have the drop tracks. It really depends on the coaster. And here we can see the coaster editor. It's very easy to use based on what I've seen here. You can just add the tracks by clicking on them. You can change the angle to increase it or decrease it. You can change the type of track over here in the utilities panel, and there are many different options. You can rotate it. You can create like an angle, optional catwalk, track supports. This is something that I will definitely need to learn more about when the game launches or even before then. Please let me know if you would like me to share a bit more about the terminology in Planet Coaster 2 so we can all learn together. I would be glad to create those videos if you're interested in learning all of them, as I learn them too. Great, so here you can see how this is like changing the angle, and you also have a tool for loops. You can create like predefined loops and they will be calculated automatically. It was great that you can go down, you can go below the supports, and you can also adjust the angle of the loop, like how narrow or how wide the loop is, and you will still need to test your ride before it's ready. You can start the test over here, and you can see the different G-forces that are acting on the cart at any particular moment. That was really interesting, just seeing that they actually implement all the physics in the coasters. So when you build a coaster, you do have to keep that in mind and not go too crazy, because otherwise the cart will not go up if they don't have the proper mechanisms. You can see the lateral G-force, the vertical G-force, and the forward G-force. And it's also calculating the excitement, fear, and nausea. Well, at this point you can see that people are starting to get a little bit nausea, really nausea, and this is going down a little bit. But since the track is not completed, the test cannot be completed. There are different types of ways to see the live data, and I'm interested in these options over here. Maybe, yeah, I really can't speculate a lot, because here we can see the chart, and this is what we're seeing over here. But we also see like a paper sheet, and we can also see an eye. Maybe this will be like a more visual way to see the data on the coaster. I'm not really sure, but I'm looking forward to seeing these new tools that we have over here. If you know, please let me know in the comments down below. We can also test this. You can see that it's testing the ride as we are building it, and that is, yeah, really amazing too. I love this feature. I never thought that we could test the ride while we were building it, but that's just me because I'm a new Planet Coaster player. Maybe this was in Planet Coaster 1. Not sure, but this is, from a new player's perspective, something that I really appreciate. And over here, you can see that we are finishing the track, and they mentioned something about having brakes over here to end the ride, so the cart starts like slowing down over here in this curve and doesn't go all the way here, and your guests end up here on the floor, poor things. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. You do have to keep your guests safe as well in the coaster. And with the new scenery brush, I can see how easy it will be to decorate over here around this if you don't want to build piece by piece. Great. We also see the smooth tool. You can see smooth strength, smooth direction, smooth type, and you can also smooth the parts of your coaster that you have selected. So that is just amazing. You can also edit specific tracks. Basically, I'm not sure they mentioned this about the brakes, but I didn't really see how you could add the brakes. And that's another thing that I have on my checklist for the next deep dive. And well, it just looks amazing. Basically, from a new player's perspective, the coaster builder looks amazing. You can also place like the entrance and the exit, and you can connect the entrance to the path. After that, we saw some of the customization options for the tracks, because that is what really brings the boundless creativity to the coaster builder, because you can add or attach any scenery piece and scale it, because we have the scaling tool, and they will actually move with the cart as you go through the ride. Here you can see like the scaling. Yeah, we're scaling the pineapple here. This is from the resort theme, I think they mentioned. And then we also see some lights, and this is a great thing that I'm gonna show you. I think it's worth like highlighting this because it is a brilliant feature that will save us a lot of time. If you want to decorate the card on both sides and have that be symmetric, you don't have to like copy and move it. You can just enable this setting over here that says symmetry type. Right now it's set to none by default, but if you set it to mirrored, this will be symmetric. So everything you add on this side will be mirrored on the other side. You can see how this is moving together. And twining just means that, if you can see this over here, just means that the scenery that you add to the first card will be added to the other cards over here. That is brilliant. And notice how this is handling this automatically, because on the other cards we shouldn't have the pineapple since they don't have this initial piece and they don't add it. So it was carefully thought and planned, and that is awesome. You can also affect all trains. By default this is off, but if you have multiple trains in your coaster, you can apply that to all your trains. That is very helpful. Imagine how much time you will be saving with that feature. Awesome. So this was my deep dive of the deep dive. I really can't wait to play Planet Coaster 2 and to really know more about the game in the next deep dive. I am looking forward to the management aspects, because in addition to creativeness, I also love management in these games. I think they are the perfect combination for every single type of player. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to Planet Coaster 2. I will be staying on top of the news, and I will be sharing more deep dives and videos on my channel, so stay tuned. I will also continue playing Planet Zoo. These are my plans at the moment, so I will see you in the next videos.